My daughter Claire is 12, which means she was born in 2006, before the ACA was passed. When she was born, we thought she was perfect, but she was born with multiple and severe disabilities. She has epilepsy, asthma, autism, and a very long list of medical conditions that affect nearly every part of her body from top to bottom. But she's a very sweet child. She's almost a teenager. She loves swimming and ice cream and spending time with her family. And we are really terrified that just as she's about to become a teenager and embark on this whole new part of her life, that we are going to be thrust back to the time before the ACA when we stayed up at night worrying, what if she meets the lifetime cap on her benefits? What if she meets the annual cap on her benefits? What if her pre-existing conditions, the conditions she was born with, are no longer covered by insurance? What will we do then? It was terrifying when she was born, before the ACA took effect, to know that there could be a time where, even though we live in a country, in a city with access to state-of-the-art medical care that can not just help her survive but thrive, she might not be able to access that care just because health insurance wouldn't cover it. And because even if we spent every penny we had on her care, there would reach a time eventually where we would be completely wiped out and couldn't afford to pay for her care anymore. And we don't want to go back to that time. It was a horrible time to have a pre-existing condition in this country, and it is truly bizarre to me that we are even contemplating going back to that kind of system.
What would the ACA repeal mean for you? What would it mean for Claire?
Well, it means my husband and I would lose the very real peace of mind we have, knowing that although Claire faces a lot of challenges in her lives and we face a lot of uncertainty, none of that right now is due to fear that she won't have access to health insurance or the health care she needs. We go back to a time wondering what happens if Claire does reach her lifetime cap. What happens if there's a change in the law and her pre-existing conditions aren't covered, that she can't get access to the medication that keeps her from having seizures, the asthma medication that helps her breathe. What happens then? Before the ACA, my husband and I contemplated selling all of our assets. We have a home and a car. I live a very middle-class lifestyle. There's a very real possibility that if the ACA were repealed, we would have to give all of that up just so that my daughter could have access to Medicaid, which would actually cost the government a lot more than the ACA does. Another possibility we contemplated, which some families have done, is actually getting divorced so that I could have custody of Claire as a single unemployed mother and she could get access to health care that way. Another option, which is really unthinkable to us, would be that Claire could be sent to live in an institution because she could qualify for Medicaid if she didn't live with us. But we believe very strongly that families belong together. We believe that families who love each other shouldn't have to get divorced just to get access to health care. We believe that all families deserve the stability of having a home and a decent income to put food on the table, and that we shouldn't have to give that up just to have access to health care, just to keep our daughter alive. But that's the kind of situation we're facing if the ACA is repealed.